Another testimony I want to give you is I have my sister. I have a sister friend that, we had walked together for over 7 years in our lives. And we had walked a good journey. We knew the Lord had brought us back together because of the way that we had served the Lord and connected to each other. It was very divine. And then after some time, God sends a warning and tells us that something is going to happen to our friendship. We need to pray against it. A warning comes. We were warned and we did not. We overlooked what the warning was because nothing could happen to us. We were warned. But in the moment, after some time, we got a misunderstanding. And in the moment of the misunderstanding, at the back of our minds, we knew the warning, but we chose to ignore it. And we had this misunderstanding that took us 2 years to reconcile. And in those 2 years, a lot of things were lost. A lot of emotions were flying over. A lot of things happened in those things that were never meant to happen. It took us 2 years to get back in the place that we were supposed to get back, to be in. Because the enemy is about wasting our time. So I want you to ask you, how long have you stayed away from the thing that God asked you to do? That thing that you let go of. I want you to always remember Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12 says, we do not wrestle against flesh and blood. Whenever you're faced with a situation like Moses faced, or the situation I faced, or the situation you could be facing, I want you to remember that we do not wrestle against flesh and blood. The people of Egypt, them choosing an idol, choosing to worship an idol, they had been so much in that situation that their minds needed that. So you realize the problem and you do not fight flesh with flesh. So many of us have decided, instead of going into the spirit and fighting this in the spiritual, we have decided to fight against flesh, and that is where we are in the places we are at. That's why our ministries are not growing, because every time a servant of God is faced with a problem, they walk away, they break the mandate that the Lord gave them in 2 pieces. Many of us are like the Moses. We face painful situations, emotions, and we break things that are so precious. We have broken relationships that are precious. We've broken people, destiny helpers, people that are so precious in our lives, people that were supposed to carry us in situation. We have broken them because of a small amount of emotion, which God has even warned us. So many of us have walked away from our churches, our mandates. Now you sit down and wonder, you ask yourself, where am I supposed to be? Some of us have even walked away from marriages, ministry, things so big because a small moment. So I pray today that you will ask yourself, what position have you left because of disappointment? What position have you left because of offense? Offense is a tool of the enemy. When he's about to displace you, the first thing he does is to bring offense to you. What assignment have you walked away from because people reacted in a bad way? You were working on something and somebody made a comment, or you created something and the way people reacted to it was not good. So you're like, what am I even doing? I need to let this go. Well, knowing that it is God who sent you to do that business, God who told you to start that project, God who called you into that thing. And you're like, the way people have not been receptive of my podcast. People have not been receptive of the way I talk. People are not receptive of my ministry. So guess what? I am going to walk away. So guys, I know we are going through it. I know a lot of us have been in these situations. I know a lot of us have walked away from their assignment. But I want you to remember, when Moses went through, after he broke everything, he had to go back and repeat the process. God called him into another 40 days and gave him other instructions that were intense to go back and rewrite the commandments that were already done. So in order for us not to move in cycles into wasted seasons, it is very important that we are careful. That when we hear God, when we hear the warnings of God, we heed to them, that we do not miss our time and our seasons.